Good morning to what is a very overcast and very windy day 403, which is actually day 13 of the pool build. Welcome. No one's here as yet. We are at nearly 9 o'clock. Should have been here by now. What's going on? Sherwin's here. Sherwin's cracking on with obviously the windows. We have got things dried now. That yellow diluted ball bond has gone off now, so it's not at runny, tacky as it was yesterday, obviously, but it needs to have another coat on it today. It needs to be completely decontaminated, de-dusted, all the crap taken off, another layer put on, and I suppose they're going to be cracking on. The guys at the pump supply who are going to be installing the pumps, they're going to be coming here today as well. I don't know what they're going to be doing first. The trough's obviously got to be scored out at the bottom, get all that old concrete off. They were in there yesterday pumping the water out, so I'm not too sure if they were doing that because they were installing the valves in there, which I think they were. I think they're installing the valves to shut the water off, so they needed to drain the water out first, so they did it because they cut that pipe back, taken my Coca-Cola silicone-ridden cap off. They probably put the valves on there, which I haven't seen, but that's probably what they did yesterday. They're obviously going to be doing the trough. There's a return back to the pump house in there, because obviously all the water goes off the pool edge into the trough, regurgitates as I call it, comes back, gets pulled back to the pump itself. So they'll be putting something in there. So I don't know what they'll do first, but they are coming today to do some bits and bobs. I've emailed Dion, who did the gates, about the door. Rather than having the, let me turn you around, rather than having the manhole access into the top, which is a pain in the backside, and as I've told you before, it keeps on leaking. Look at these bad boys, look. Effortless flying. Obviously looking for fish, I would have thought. So we talked about potentially putting a door on the other side. So what they told me yesterday is the heat pump itself has got to be sitting on the outside, because obviously it draws air in through the actual heat pump and obviously comes into the unit itself. So it's like a big radiator. So if it's inside, it's going to get hot. So I'm going to talk to them about whether it can be housed in there as long as we vent the room properly. If not, then I've got to mount that on the outside. What we've talked about doing is putting a door on that side. I've got a price for an aluminium door, which is bloody expensive, but Dion has actually come up with a good idea, just like a big aluminium sort of manhole type door. So it's a big door, hinges, just a big sheet of aluminium with a square tubular frame. So that's working out about 3 times more cost effective as well. Obviously it's not going to be the most pleasing thing on the eye, but I can also get him to build some louvers into it as well. So if it was the door itself, have some louvers at the bottom so that obviously it can breathe in and out. And then we can bore one 4-inch hole into the wall on this side, so the air will come in through this side, and obviously the air will come out the louvers of the door on the other side. So that's probably what I'm going to do, and then I need to work out where we can actually mount the actual heat pump. If it's got to be outside, then obviously it's going to have to be on that side, because most of the wind comes this way, so I want to try and get it out of the wind. And then I'll also have to build some form of protection around it so it doesn't rot. So that's one thing I'm going to do today. So he's basically said he might be able to get that turned around by Monday, but that does mean the guys need to cut the hole out. So we need to come up with what size we need it to be, and then Dion can make the actual door itself to the size of the hole that we make. There's a lot of rebar in those walls, so they're going to have to, one of the biggest problems is obviously grinding it and chasing it out and then cutting through the rebar. So, but anyway, that's got to be done. The guys apparently are en route at some stage to come here to start on here, so I'm not too sure what they're going to do today. As I said already, they do need to get into that trough and get that floor taken up, otherwise that is a really weak element, which is going to cause us a little bit of pain if we don't get that right. The other thing I will talk to them about as well, which I'm sure they'll do when they tile, is just squaring up this infinity edge. It's sort of at an angle like that there, and it's the same over there as well. So rather than being dead straight, it's slightly at an angle. So you could plaster this inner edge out to square it up. I don't know how bad the other side is. I think the other side's actually worse than this one. Let's have a quick look. Sorry about the wind. Yeah, it's actually worse. So you can see it actually angles backwards. So that definitely needs to be straightened up. Otherwise that would do my OCD no good at all. So that edge needs to be brought out. So whether they do that with the tiles, or whether they do that with the pool product, or whether they plaster it now, that's up to them. But that's definitely got to be sorted out. I'm sure if you measured that width there, you'd straight away have an issue just there, let alone that piece going over. So it looks like the whole infinity edge is actually going over itself. That definitely isn't a square line, that's for sure. That's a shame. Obviously, yeah, there's the floor. That's what's got to be sorted out. Obviously, there's a lot of crap now coming into here from the gutters, but they got a lot of that out yesterday and threw it over here, unfortunately, as they've done here. But anyway, they need to get that broken up and scraped out today, which is going to be a bit of a mission. And then obviously off the back of that, then I just need to talk to them about whether there's a way of us trying to square this up so it doesn't look like a dog's dinner. It doesn't look too pretty, does it? And it's not them, by the way, it's the guys that actually built the pool, built the infrastructure of the pool, and they did the plastering. Other than that, I think we're pretty much good to start the next stage. George the plumber's en route as we speak because he's going to be installing, I think he should be doing it today, it was meant to be Monday, but today he's going to be installing the bits that he can in the bathroom here. Now, as you know, we can't actually install everything because we've got an issue with the system. I've got 2 systems on the route from England. The one I've got from here just doesn't work, as I've shown you already. I don't really want to build that up and have to change this, but at the same time, I don't like the thickness of this as well. I think this is too thick. It needs to be about here. So I might actually take this apart and chop those off and put it back together again anyway. So, but anyway, so he'll put in the bottom tap, the mixer, the shower head, the sink in, the tap in, and the hot and cold and waste. So that can be finished off. So that'll be done. That'll be done. I need to get the tiler back out to finish the tile of the track, which he forgot to do. And I do have the glass, which has been ordered and paid for. It's meant to be delivered, so I need to chase that today. Ordered that from Blueprint, by the way. 700, just under 750 for a 4'4" by 6.5 foot or 6'6" bit of glass. So that will go into there. I can get that fitted as well. But there's not a great deal we can do with the toilet at the moment, obviously, until we get the cistern and we work out what's going in. I suppose what we could do is get the pipe put on here, ready to be connected. We could get the waste put in here and this ready to go on. We could get the plasterboard, which Koymans have delaying with. I had to chase them again today. They've been a bloody pain in the backside. Don't know what's going on. We've still got the AstroTurf in here. AstroTurf that we actually ordered, that we tested, that landed up being a foot shorter than it should have been, and also at the angle, they still haven't come and picked it up. So we need another piece, we need another length to do the front. So we're going to do AstroTurf in the front. We can't do AstroTurf in the front until 1, they come and pick up the one that was wrong, and 2, they deliver the replacement and the new one we need. And at the same time, they also do, I call them large staples. They're about that long, just a U shape. They use them for the irrigation pipes, but I use them to pin down the weed sheet. So we need to weed sheet the front, but we can't weed sheet the front without the staples. So I need the staples to weed sheet, and then obviously the 2 layers of AstroTurf to grass the front. So as soon as that's done, we can get that done. Shouldn't really go down just on weed sheet with AstroTurf, but it's not a walkable area, so it doesn't really make any difference. It's just to make it look a little bit tidier. But before we do that, we are going to have to rake it down there and make sure we get it as smooth as possible and get any form of grass or weeds gone. So yeah, I've chased them today. They said they're going to come and pick this up, and then they're going to look at doing the 2 deliveries. Personally, I don't understand why they don't just charge me for 1 piece, come and pick up the old piece and drop off the 2 pieces at the same time. But apparently they're going to come and pick up the old piece, then go back and deliver the other 2 pieces and charge me for 1. So they don't want to do the credit without the return. So they've got to come and do that. So they're going to have to come pick that up, take it back, and then deliver me another 2, plus all the other parts of plasterboard, etc. that I need as well. I'm also going to order Henry white rubber roofing was on a special. I've texted him again today to ask him if it still is on a special. I'm going to order 5 or 6 tubs of that. It was about 370 odd, down to about 280. So I'm going to order 5 or 6 of those, so that when I'm away, potentially over the Christmas period, that gives Sherwin to get up on the roof and get rolling. So yeah, we want to try and get the whole roof rubberised. So we might start getting that done in the next week or 2, get that rolled, get that sealed. I mean, obviously the weather's not great, so it's probably not the ideal time to be doing it, but when is there an ideal time to do it? Yesterday was the ideal time. What else is happening today? I think that's it. Plumbers coming, pump room fitters are coming, pool men are coming, Sherwin's doing the double doors on the back of the building here. So yeah, we're pretty much good to go. So I'll check in with you later on as and when there's movement. I think the guys are arriving as we speak, so see you soon. Okay, we're at 11:45. How are you beautiful people? We went down to 84854 yesterday. We lost a subscriber. Something I said. No, in all fairness, we do actually report quite a similar day, so sometimes people want to catch up. know what they've got to know and then come off. So I'm not offended, I promise. Tiling's happening. So we're going to have to make sure that the actual tiling itself is straight. This man is good. I've told him I want it centered. Centered meaning center line in the middle and then go that way and go that way. It does mean that we're about half an inch, maybe an inch off of that corner to be a perfect 45. So it means we'll have to have a little return and then a 45. But better to have those tiles central, that's for sure. So the guys are putting the actual mortar down. They've got some great kit. Not like me, all the gear, no idea, hopefully. So they're certainly putting down the right adhesive, and then obviously they've got the packers in there, and also the little levels that you can actually, the little wedges, you can knock them in to actually get the tile to go up or left. Or so yeah, I think they know exactly what they're doing. So fingers crossed, that'll be good. They've actually shaven about 3/4 inch off of the tile itself to give it the overhang that it needs, as far as I'm aware, which is a shame, but that's the way it is. So yeah, should be good. So hopefully we'll have this bit here done today. Might even be able to get all around, I don't know, depends how quick they are. We also have George the plumber in the house. He's done a quick inspection whilst he's been in, which is good of him. So in here we now have this going in, and we've got one more faux pas. Your faux pas. And slightly pissed as well as always. In Barbados, for some reason, they concrete the valves and the mixers into the wall, which means you have no movement. So, you know, if it was slightly off, you had to undo it and just slightly move it if it was in wood or something else, but concrete in, there's nothing you can do. So all of the mixers I've got are slightly pissed in some way, shape or form. The one that I do have straight is slightly off the wall here compared to here. So it's literally straight, but it's off the wall that way. So it's, you look at it, it's plumb, but obviously it's doing that. So now what we've got to do is get the tiler out, and he's going to have to remove that tile and put new tiles in. So that's a bit painful. So we've got this bit here going in. Obviously this is the, there'll be a separate hose to go on that. The head will be going on. There's the little mixer tap itself. Sink is going in. Same taps as we have over the road. Let's be straight, obviously. That's just sat in there at the moment, and then they'll cut that back and elbow that up and then put the trap in. This is landed up being 3 inches too long. I think it's because we've measured it, but then cut the middle pieces, the 13 inches, and then added the 2 ends on to make another 3 inch. So that's got to be chopped down. And I've got the toilet cisterns coming in from the UK. I've shown you all the one that I got from Platinum. It's got the one with the big push button on the front, which is very complicated and very restricted on where it goes and how it goes. So I'm going to get the other ones in and get that sorted out myself. Okay, so that's the bathroom. LED mirror, same as over the road. That's actually from here as well. That was from Coinman's, by the way. So very, very similar to the one I got over the road. So I thought rather than buying it in the can. Sherwin's tidying up in here, which is awesome. Getting all this cleared out so we can get things tidied. A little bit of a moisture issue down there. I think that's more from a pile that was there, but either way, we might have to unfortunately remove that skirting board and get more plastic on that one. So we'll have to analyse that in a minute. I think we've got some spare plastic somewhere, so we'll have to have a look at that. In fact, we do, because I saw it hanging up here. There it is. So we may have to pull that off, get that off. That can go back in the unit, because that's going to be for the kitchen. So yeah, happening today. So we've got the plumbing happening, got the window being sorted, got Sherwin sorting out inside the cottage, got the tiling going on. There's a labourer in the trough scoring up the bottom. They didn't quite understand what I meant, so I got them in there, shown them, and they realised it's very soft. So they've now taken that up. And I assume at some stage the guys from Pumps and Mechanical, they'll be here to start working on here. So yeah, fingers crossed, that will be awesome. So, not quite lunchtime, but I will check in as and when things change. My wife is in England, so I've got a daily daycare run, so I'm going to have to shoot here about 1, half 1 I think it is. I'm sure I'll make it on time, it'll be fine. But obviously it means I'm going to have to shoot off and then come back after doing some shopping. Anyway, I'll check in later on. 12:30, welcome back. I feel like I've never been away. I thought I'd just do a quick one on the tiles, they look really good. So let me show you. So we're going with centre being here and going that way and that way, like I said just a minute ago. 45 is where we got the slight issue. there's nothing you can do. You haven't got a compromise there in the corner, so we've got the corner here now. But the downside is obviously the tile's not going to be wide enough to come over to reach here, which is a real shame. Pain in the butt. But anyway, it's looking good along here though. And it'll be the same in that corner as well. Might see if there's another way around it. There might be a way of bringing the tile forward. Maybe. I don't think there is, because the restriction you've got is it's got to be here. It's got to be on this line here, which means that dictates where the tile sits there and there. We'll have a look, see if there's anything else we can do. But so far they're looking bloody good. Yeah, awesome. So we have an issue with the corner. The length coming down here, in as much as the corner comes to where this tape is, and the tile finishes here. So we either pad up this corner, or lose here. I'll upload the actual picture, you can see what I mean, but that is about 2 inches, and you can actually get 2 inches here. If you bring it down to meet that end, then you have 2 inches here, and 1.5 inches there. So we're going to trim off a very minor bit to bring it down level with this edge. That means that corner there will shorten. This is a real shame, because at the moment that's 2 inches and that one is 2 inches. But obviously it means we're missing this little corner. It's always a sacrifice. So let's put it in and see what it looks like. Worst case scenario, we can put it back as it was, but it's a shame because that corner, he had it so that corner is exact 2 inches, 2 inches, absolutely lovely. But it meant that the tile came this way. What a pain in the butt. Either way, there's always a sacrifice in life, so let's put it in and have this corner here. This here, you can't make it up here, so we have no choice but to try and make sure that is extended down. But it does mean we're going to lose that corner in the length we're looking for. So let's see what it's like. Okay, so we're at 5 o'clock. Everybody has gone. Picked up the children, came back, just met everybody leaving for the day. So looks like they're a productive one. The outer rim is starting. I would have thought that they would have done the mosaics first, then the pool product, and then this third. Wouldn't they normally? Only because obviously once these are laid, then getting the blue stuff into the pool without getting blue stuff all over these is going to be pretty difficult. So I know what they're doing, so I'll leave it down to them, but I'd have got the blue stuff down first before I did these. A few edges, not like that. Okay, so all is good. A couple of little lines that need to be balanced up, but that's all good. Trough has all been cleaned out, which is excellent. You can actually see the floor now, which is good stuff. So that now means the bottom will at least bed. Hopefully, I know obviously they didn't, the little benching edge they put on here, I know that's on top of it, so fingers crossed that will be okay. But yeah, trough is actually leaking a little bit of water, which means it's doing what it's got to do. So yeah, that's been the main thing today. These tiles all the way around. Hello. And I will open up very briefly the cottage to see what happened in there, because Sherman's been tidying up in there today and the plumbers have been actually putting in the bathroom suite. So let me quickly go and have a look. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is that all the horrible stuff on the window is gone. Got to clean it because in the sun, unfortunately, it melted onto the outside, so I had to scrape it all off. But the door looks so much nicer already just by getting back to the normal glass. Inside, a lot more tidy. And in here, not too sure how they got on. Pew's out, they're going to get some parts, so nothing's changed here. The sink is actually in. Ideally we need to try and trim that back a bit more, but it's a bit tight in there. That ideally needs to be back over here somewhere, but I'll probably get them to turn that around to run this piece around the back here and then have the this trap turned around the other way, around here, so we've got a little more space in there because that's obviously right in the way. But the hot and cold's all connected up. The sink is, not too sure whether that's got to come out and be taken off. Sink is in, not too sure if it's leaking, that one looks fine, so that's all good. So the sink is in and it's been siliconed. I'm not too sure if they actually siliconed that down, but they probably forgot. Normally what I do is I put a little bit of H silicone around here, sink the whole sink in, and then obviously it holds this to the unit itself, so I'm not too sure if they did that or not. They probably didn't get around to that, so we need to have a look at that, and then we can get the actual mirror hung on there tomorrow. This, as I said earlier on, has got to be cut back by 3 inches, so Sherman's going to crack on with that. We have the parts coming from England, so I've got 2 systems coming over, one for a spare, one for here. I've texted Tyler about coming and amending those, so hopefully he's going to get that done. In here is obviously quite basic, but it's been cleaned out at least, so a lot more organised and a lot more stuff that we don't need in here downstairs. Right, so that is it for in here. Where's the temperamental lock? I hate American locks. Bloody annoying. Anyway, just a minute. So yeah, so from a tiling point of view, they made a good start. So we obviously still need to finish that off tomorrow. So I would have thought tomorrow will be obviously this side as well, and then they'll come up after that. But again, I probably would have obviously done the pool first, just purely because the mess obviously doing the pool is going to be monstrous. But these guys do it for a living, so they know what they're doing. So I'll leave it down with them. I'll leave you to it. Thanks for watching. Before I leave, obviously anybody that likes what I've said, give me a thumbs up. And any comments would be greatly appreciated, and I will certainly get back. Sorry for uploading the same video the day before. I don't know what happened there, but that's been deleted and re-uploaded. So you can see obviously day 12, and this obviously will be day 13. So I'll check in tomorrow for day 14. Fingers crossed, make another indent. Look forward to it.